Hi everybody, welcome to Leon's Chainsaw Parts and Repair. Happy Friday. How about you guys? I'm more than ready for a weekend. Alright, we're going to take a look at Charles Super XL. This saw he's done some work to, and got it close. There's a new fuel hose in here. Probably some other work that's been done. Note in the box, here is my Homelite XL. It was my father's saw, so it means a lot to me. Please see what's causing it to shut off when you give it gas. I love working on a saw that was a guy's dad or granddad. I mean, it just, I know the previous video was kind of the same way. It's just cool. It's cool when, a family member takes something that parent, grandparent had, and tries to bring it back and get it back to its glory. I just think that's really neat, and I wish more people put value on that. It doesn't have to be a chainsaw, it's just anything, Family's important, and our throwaway society, it's got a lot of consequences, I'm afraid. So before I try to fire this up, I do want to note one thing. I have a bad feeling that there was a little damage in shipping. Take a look at the air filter cover here. Now, that coincides with the box has great packing in here, but when I got her open, there was nothing across the top, and this mark here leads me to say that one of the fine folks at the delivery company either stacked something on this, stepped on it, or something, and that air filter cover is pretty jacked up. That's beyond repair, I'm afraid. So I'm going to have to source that. I think I can straighten the mounting bracket here, and if not, those are a dime a dozen. But anyway, the saw will run, apparently, just it won't rev up. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that we're looking at a carb rebuild. Well, as soon as I can get this air filter off, we're going to give it a fire and check it out. Oh yeah, man, that bracket is bent up. So this is a Tillotson carb. What's the date on this one? A G. So see, mid-80s. I'm a little surprised to see a Tillotson carburetor in there. Would have thought it would be a Walpro by then, maybe a Zama. Anyway, let's see if we can get this thing to fire off and get a good idea of what it's doing. Okay. Well, that is actually running a hell of a lot better than I expected. There is a carburetor issue of some sort right here. How am I going to get you guys the best view? I'll try this. Good Lord. I don't want to unscrew this if I don't have to. Ah, this is the hard way for sure. Okay, see all the paint peeling in there? Down in the carb box. I'll hold it still as I can. There's gas leaking right there too, and the way the paint is peeling, that's clear that it's been leaking fuel for quite some time. Now, it's not doing it while it's off, at least it doesn't appear to be, so I'm going to have to go through and check the reed valves. Now, the fact that a little idle does not make me think for 1 minute that I'm going to find a problem with the reed valves, but they're so easy to check when you've got the carburetor loose anyway. Just pop the block out, take a look, see what you got. But it's definitely peeled the paint in there, which means it's been exposed to gasoline for long enough. And that's good mixed fuel. So I'll go through that, check it out. But otherwise, I'm going to get this video posted and have Charles kind of take a listen to it and tell me if it's running roughly the way it did for him. This general look in the saw over, it looks like it's in pretty damn good shape. And it's a mid-80s model. I want to say it's an 86. Muffler cover's got a little bit of, it's been impacted once or twice, but that doesn't hurt anything. Sprocket's got a little bit of wear, but again, it's free. Bearings tight enough. Clutch is engaging and disengaging. So, all things considered, I think this is going to be a quick repair. Like I said, I'll go in the carb, figure out why we've got a little leakage here, and this may be a fast turnaround. Okay, well, I don't see hardly any fuel residue here now, just a smidge of spit back from the high-speed jet being tuned a little rich. I've talked about this before. The fuel mix I run is different than most guys in terms of how much oil is in it, so I try to set these a little bit rich to account with for the kind of mix that the end user is going to be running. So it sounds good. Got into the carburetor and just stretched the metering inlet lever spring just a smidge, about a coil. You know, that's kind of what you're looking for, is get in between one coil and just stretch it a little bit to put a little tension on there. So it held rock steady at about 13 psi, 13 to 14 on the gauge. And it wasn't leaking at all, which means this thing is going to be an easy start and saw, because it's going to maintain its fuel prime most of the time. Looked like there was a fairly new gasket here on the reed block, and all the gaskets looked pretty good. The carburetor screws were a little looser than I care for. There could have been a little bit of leakage around there, but I think most of it was the inlet lever spring was just a little weak, and I think it was under high rev. I think it was not seating that needle quite all the way, and it was putting a little extra fuel into the system that it didn't need. So I'll do my standard routine of letting it sit for a couple days and doing a cold fire, and in the meantime it looks like we're looking for an air filter cover for this thing. So start digging through the boxes and see what's on hand. But in any case, Charles, it looks like it's running pretty darn good.